What it do? Let it do what it do, what it do.
I'm definitely face of boxing. Absolutely.
They up the level, I'm gonna up the level with them every time.
Shakur Stevenson!
I mean what I say, lines only for
Charlo just dropped Lewin with that sweeping right and goes down face first. It's over.
What's going on, everybody? This is your boy KQKC Boxing Network. We are back at it again, baby. Yes, sir. And yes, sir, I brought along, man, the debate king. None other than Knockout Boxing 86 TV. What's going on, Knockout? What's happening with you?
Same old. Ready to talk some boxing. It's been a pretty good weekend. So, just ready to talk this boxing, man. I'm doing good. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing all right, man. You know, and before we get started, I want to ask you this question like I asked everybody else. Would you like to have one card, all right, with Earl Spence, David Benavidez, all the stars at PBC on one card? Or would you like for each one to headline every individual card with a trash undercard? Which one would you like?
I'd rather have all of them on one card.
There you go.
Yeah, I'd rather have all of them on one card because a lot of guys at PBC ain't the stars that they used to be, and I got questions about them coming back. So if I'm gonna pay $89 or $100 or whatever it is for a pay-per-view, I'd rather have them all on one card because as we can see, some of the stars ain't stars no more, and some of them ain't got no fight in them no more. You know, we'll be talking about Danny Garcia later, but. Yeah, I don't want to have what if Earl or Jamel or Jamal or somebody headline a card and they just there for a paycheck. Right. You're gonna be mad, and the undercard is trash because you got to pay them so much. So I'd rather them all be on one card and let in time to start making what you really weigh and stop getting dudes overpaid and stuff because. What Danny Garcia did last night was a travesty, but we'll talk about it later. But yeah, to answer your question, put them all on one card, man.
Okay. All right. Okay, you feeling? Yeah, that's how I feel also, and a couple of people also last night. So let's see who we got in the building before we get started. All right, we got Not Me is up in here. He said, how did the UFC confuse Kendrick Lamar and Terrence Crawford? I don't know. All right, Flawless Mentality. What's going on, my East Side brother? What's happening with you? All right, yes, sir, Young World. What's going on, Young World? Opening LD is in the building, baby. What's going on, Jay? What's up, Hardcore Casual? Yes, sir, Team Tank is in the building. All right, yes, sir. What's going on, Jay? All right, Boss Dog is up in here. What's going on, Boss Dog? And we got my man, this Desmond Johnson. DJ is in our building. All right, that's what we got thus far. All right, I appreciate you coming in so far. All right, yes, sir. Appreciate it. All right, yes, sir. All right, let's get started. Knockout. Yes, sir. And King D, I see you sneaking in that back door, baby. All right, yes, sir. What's going on with you?
All right. Let's start with the prelims, bro. Let's get started with the prelims. I want to start with your former Jerome Boots and his opponent, Roman Villa. He got knocked out yesterday.
Yes,
so
that
fight, that victory for Jerome Boots Ennis is not aging too well. Roman Villa, he barely escaped Rashidi Ellis. Then he got the Jerome Boots Ennis fight. That was one of Jerome Boots Ennis' best performances. And then now he got knocked out in like the third or fourth round by a relatively unknown fighter. What you think of that performance, man? What do you think of what you saw in that fight?
Well, that was the first fight of the card, I believe, and I believe the fight he was fighting was Lopez, and that was one of Eddie Reynoso fighters, and he's a southpaw, and he was on point, man. He was on point. But I think Villa, when you got a fighter that doesn't improve over time, then he's not going to improve. He's not going to improve at all. Yes, he made Ennis look good. Yes, he made a lot of guys look good, especially one last night. So Villain now is pretty much like a get ready for a fight type of fighter. You know, he comes in there as a sparring partner. That's what type of fighter he is now. He got the height, he got the reach, but he just don't have the pop. You know, so I mean, maybe he can move around and get a fight here, fight there, but he will never be that champion or that star. That's what I see. So Ennis, and you know how I feel about him as you see that thumbnail up there, and allegedly he wants out of that contract with Eddie Hearn. Now Eddie Hearn's promised to make him a star. What happened? No, I'll tell you what happened. He didn't get the purse bid. He didn't get the Brian Norman Jr. fight. I'm sorry, Cody Crowley. He dropped out. Now I'm not saying it's his fault or nothing, but it's not working out so well. And I think Bozy knows that. I think he knows that very, very well. So, but still in all, Jerron Anderson with so much talent knockout, with so much talent, and he is not making no headway at all. And that's a shame. So maybe he need to get with someone else that can help him make a change. So but still in all, Villain, he's just not going to get any better. He started off pretty good. You can go through the motions, but next thing you know, he just was getting hit too much. So
Yeah, Roman, I think you got the fights flipped a little bit, but it's all
yeah, I think so. You're right. Yeah,
it's all good. Roman Villa came out very aggressive, trying to bully the fighter he was fighting against. I think his last name was damn, I forget his last name, but anyway, it was the Mexican fighter. He was an Orthodox fighter, and he took Roman Villa's best shots well. It looked like at times Roman Villa was clearly the harder puncher because his punches were moving. The other guy around the ring knocking him off balance. He looked like he might be good, but they got in the middle of an exchange. And one of the cliches that I do like in boxing that I does think makes sense is it's the ones that you don't see that hurt you. And that's exactly what happened to Roman Villa. It was a short right hand off the ropes, and it caught him, and it didn't look like it was hard. It didn't look like he generated a lot of power, but Roman did walk right into it. And as a result, he ended up getting put down and he couldn't get up. And so it's yet another victory for Jerron Boots and his haters that get to say, oh, he ain't fought nobody. He's fighting trash cans, because now one of his best wins just went in there and got knocked out in the first half of the fight. And so now people are going to be looking at him sideways for that, looking at Jerron Boots in a different light. But for me, I think a lot of that had to do with Jerron Boots did put a whipping on Villa, so he could have messed his chin up and could have made him not as durable. But Villa maybe isn't the menace or the pressure fighter with all the power that we thought he was, because he really folded and didn't get and wasn't able to get back to his feet and continue to fight. So I thought it was a very entertaining fight for as long as it lasted. They were in there throwing some leather, man. They were in there throwing hard. So it was entertaining to start the prelims, but very disappointed that Villa didn't do better, didn't perform better, and wasn't able to get the victory. But good performance by his opponent nonetheless. Do you got anything else on that?
No, I was thinking of the fighter, his opponent. I'm thinking of was Lopez. Was that the first fight of the prelim?
Lopez was a southpaw that was really
right.
The first fight. That was the 130-pound fight.
Right. The featherweight. Yeah.
So,
okay.
But yeah, that was a good one too. And then one thing that happened too, and we'll go back and forth from fights and stories like we always do. I saw Teofimo Lopez and Terrence Crawford. I don't know if they were at the Canelo fight or they were at the UFC event, but Terrence Crawford and Teofimo had words and went back and forth, and almost Terrence Crawford like put his hand in his face. Teofimo slapped his hand down, then they broke him up. I think Teofimo personally should leave Bud Crawford alone, and that's not a fight that I'm interested in. But what do you think of Teofimo trying to kind of rattle Bud Crawford's cage and Bud giving him the time of day and kind of going back and forth at the fight like that?
Well, Bud, we all know how Bud Crawford is. And no slight on Bud Crawford. He's a great champion, no hate or nothing like that. But we all know he's an asshole, right? And of course, sometimes you gotta not rattle and poke the bear. And you won't get a reaction out of Terrence Crawford if you keep on pushing him. And Lopez need to make his own way. Now, of course, you want to go up there and fight at 154 and fight Terrence Crawford, because that would pretty much put your name on the map. Well, put your own name on the map. Terrence Crawford paid his dues. Terrence Crawford did what he had to do in the sport. Now you have to do what you're supposed to do in the sport. Now, of course, you keep saying that you're undisputed, which you're not. But if you really want to be undisputed, then you got to, make waves. Terrence Crawford's not the only fighter out there. So if you want to make your waves, go to 147. Go in there and fight Ennis. Go in there and make your way at 147. Don't go up there to 154. You're not that great. Now, you're a good fighter, but are you a great fighter? Do you break down when the going gets rough? And I have seen you do that. You doubt yourself. That's not Terrence Crawford. So you out there lead. You out there a whole different element. So you and your dad need to pretty much move and make your own bones. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, I'm kind of right there with you. Teofimo, we'll get to it later. He also had some stuff to say about Gervonta Tank Davis over the weekend. He also was obviously, as you said, supposed to move up to 147 and not even boost, but he was supposed to possibly be fighting Brian Norman Jr. I'd rather see him be fighting Tank. I'd rather see him trying to change champions at 147. Bud Crawford has other things that he's worried about, and quite honestly, that's the fight that Teofimo Lopez doesn't have a shot in. So I don't want to see uncompetitive fights. I want to see Terrence Crawford versus Teofimo Lopez about as much as I want to see Canelo Alvarez and Terrence Crawford, which is not at all. So I find it funny, though, and this is just me pointing out contradictions. A lot of Terrence Crawford fans, they're saying, what you and I are saying, Teofimo doesn't deserve a shot. Teofimo needs to focus down there at 135 or 140, wherever he's fighting. Weight classes for a reason. What does Teofimo look like moving up 2 weight classes? Yet those same Terrence Crawford fans are pushing for him to get the Canelo Alvarez fight. So I just find that very hypocritical and very, very funny that people are doing that. So I can't, it's just odd how boxing fans work sometimes. But overall, I agree with you on Bud and Teofimo. I think Teofimo needs to focus on his career. Bud Crawford is like a decade older than him. They're just not in the same era, nowhere near the same weight class. Let's move on and get some realistic fights, some realistic back and forth, and things the fans actually want to see. Another thing, and then we'll get back to the fights before I forget. Canelo was called out by Terrence Crawford and Turki Al-Sheikh on live. They went live on Instagram, I believe it was Terrence Crawford's Instagram, and they were telling Canelo to come on, talking about just give me my shot. Terrence Crawford said, "Put me in the game, coach." They really pressing hard to fight Canelo Alvarez. And I don't want to get into Canelo's performance yet. We'll do that later in the show. But based on what you saw, does Terrence Crawford have an opportunity to beat Canelo? Do you give him a shot in that fight if that fight was to happen?
No, I don't. And I'm gonna keep saying this. Weight classes are for a reason. Canelo, I'm not gonna get into the fight. We get to that later, but he has a chin. He has a chin. I don't care how big and strong Bud Crawford is. He's not gonna hurt Canelo. Canelo's gonna walk right through him. Canelo fought bigger and harder punches than Terrence Crawford. I get what you're doing, Terrence. I get that you want that last payday. I get that you want that retirement plan. But sometimes, when he say no, stop begging. No means no. Now, you know how Canelo Alvarez is. He's at that point now in his career where he got 1 foot out and 1 foot in. And I quote and unquote, boxing's not fun anymore. And when he says that means that, okay, I'm contemplating walking away. So I'm sorry, Bud and Bud fans. No, Bud, go down there and fight somebody at 154 until you ready to leave. All right, leave Canelo Alvarez alone and let him fight. If he didn't fight Dave Benavidez, why the hell you think he gonna fight somebody 2 weight classes smaller than you? He wasn't gonna look. He's not gonna look good. That's not gonna solidify his legacy. So I mean, if he wins, what he's gonna do? Jump for joy? No, they're gonna say that's what you're supposed to do, Canelo. And same way with you. If you win, what they gonna say? Is that it, Terrence? Well, what farther can you go? Heavyweight? You want to fight Anthony Joshua next? No. Sit down, young man. Sit down. Have a seat.
Yeah, I think that I think that I am tired of talking about Canelo Alvarez and Bud Crawford. And the reason I'm tired of it is because we all know that there are certain fights that Canelo should be fighting and there are fights that Bud Crawford should be fighting. And those are the fights that I want to see. Like you said 154. Yes, bro. Bud Crawford has undisputed right there for him at 154 pounds. He already got ordered to fight Sebastian Fundora. Fundora is either going to have to work out a deal with Bud Crawford or he's going to have to duck him and lose a belt. And then Bud Crawford will now have 2 belts. And then he'll only need 2 more before he can be undisputed in 3 separate weight classes. That's what I want to see. And I want to see him fight your guy, Jermell Charlo. I want to see him maybe if Earl Spence can come back, because I don't know if Earl Spence can come back and be successful. But if Earl can come back and he looks good and he's able to get a couple of good wins under his belt, I think that's the retirement fight. That's the fight that can get him a big bag, a huge payday, be his last little swan song, and then him and Earl can run it back if Earl is able to be successful in his comeback to the ring in his next couple of fights. But this idea, man, that Canelo Alvarez and Terrence Crawford should fight, I think it's just we talk about wanting a payday. I think it's just Terrence Crawford wanting a payday before he retires. So you got Canelo talking about retiring because he ain't having fun, and Bud Crawford seems to be looking for that last big bag before he leaves the sport of boxing. So I'm not for those fights. Either keep fighting for legacy, keep fighting good fights that fans want to see, or just stop fighting altogether. Is where I'm at. And then we all know what fight Canelo Alvarez should be taking. He should be trying to fight Benavidez, or he should be taking the winner of Beterbiev and Bivol. If he's calling this, and that's my issue. I was reading a quote where Canelo Alvarez said that he's the best fighter in the world. He just said that last night. Like, how are you proving you the best fighter in the world by pulling Jermell Charlo up, fighting John Ryder, fighting Edgar Berlanga, fighting Jaime Munguia? How are you proving that you're the best fighter in the world? And that's my biggest issue is Canelo Alvarez wants to call himself the best fighter in the world, but he's not fighting the fighters that can prove that. He's fighting hand-picked opponents that are set up to make him look good and get him an easy bag. How are you behaving like the best fighter in the world? So I want that ship to sail. I don't want to see Canelo versus Crawford because it does nothing for Canelo and there's no risk involved for Crawford. I'd rather see them risking it, right? Risk your legacy. Canelo fight fucking David Benavidez. Try to get the Bivol rematch or Beterbiev if he can beat Bivol. But actually risk your legacy, bro. Fight guys at 154 pounds that it's an even fight to where if you lose, people going to be like, oh, he lost to that guy. That's an even playing field. Because if he was to lose to Canelo Alvarez, he got a cop-out. I moved up 2 weight classes. I dared to be great. Okay, no big deal. And then he just moves on. So I'm not feeling none of this Canelo and Bud talk, to be honest with you.
No.
So that's where I'm at with it, bro.
Yeah. And you're right. It's just a mismatch. There's no way Canelo is on Crawford on his level, whatever, and 2 weight classes apart. And I mean, just mismatch. I don't want to see that. I want to see 50-50 fight or a great fight. These are fights we want. I mean, if that's the case, and that's why I say I believe weight classes are there for a reason. I'm gonna stick with that. I'm gonna stick with it. And Canelo just don't need to be fighting anyone 2 weight classes down. We've seen that movie already. All right, Jamel Charlo. We know that. And I believe that Jamel Charlo pretty much, went up there just to grab a bag. We know he did. I mean, let's be honest. And that's my fighter, and I don't care. But he went up there and grabbed a bag, and that's it. And now he's back down to 154, back to business as usual. But where are we at now with boxing? Are we gonna keep doing this? Are we gonna let certain fighters go up there and fight the bigger fighters because they making money? No, no. We want to see legacy. We want to see tough fights. We want to see close fights. We want to see 50-50 fights. Those what make boxing last. Those what make boxing exciting. I don't want to see over mismatch. See, everything that look good ain't good. Like Turkey, for instance, you got all the bells and whistles and things, but you're losing money. You lose their money. So I mean, boxing made it this far, and we can keep making it. All right. A lot of people say, well, well, Turkey, he making the fights happen. No, the fights been happening. The fight's been happening. I mean, what you think you've been watching the last 5-10 years? All right. Some of y'all just was born. I mean, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. So Boston ain't going nowhere. It's always gonna be here.
At all.
Yeah. So
at
that's
all, it's
all I
gonna be
got.
here, man.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back into the fight. So another preliminary fight. Cool boy Stephen Fulton made his return to the ring. He got put down in the fight, got up and was able to fight his way to a split decision victory over Carlos Castro. What did you think of that fight and the performance of Cool Boy Steph?
Well, I don't know what they looking at. Maybe I don't know boxing like I think I know. Because what I saw Cool Boy losing that fight last night. Now, I saw Castro, tall, longer reach, and was popping that stick on Cool Boy. That's why his nose was red like Santa Claus, because he kept on sticking that jab. Now, of course, Stephen Fulton, he was trying to come over the top with the right hand, but he wasn't getting close. But like I say, Joe Guzman, unofficially, he kept putting Fulton ahead, which I don't think he was ahead. Now, of course, I was watching and calling that fight, and I know I didn't miss no punches, but maybe 1 or 2. But still, in all, Castro, he fought a good fight. He was bigger and he was stronger, and he had a longer reach. Now, of course, Fulton was trying to get on the inside, but he wasn't good on the inside. So I don't know what the judges are looking for. Maybe I need to go back and look at my referee book and see, well, no, they don't have nothing to do with scoring. But these judges, I don't know, man. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong and they right. Because right now, I think that Stephen Fulton lost that fight last night. And Castro, he didn't make a big ruckus about it. Maybe he's one of them types that's, it is what it is. But right now, he's gonna have to fight better than that next time. Next time, yeah, you got this one, but next time you're gonna have to fight a little bit better. You're gonna have to let your hands go. He's gonna have to let his hands go, and he has to go in there because I'm gonna tell you, Abosi was pissed last night. He was pissed because he wasn't doing what he's supposed to be doing. He wasn't doing what Bosi told him to do. So I mean, it is what it is, and but still in all, I think he lost the fight. I really do. So
Okay, you got a super chat.
Yeah. Okay. All right. What's going on, Charles? In the super chat, baby. Yes, sir. He said, for me to consider Canelo the best fighter in the world, he needs to beat Benavidez, Morel, and get his revenge on Bibble. Okay.
Yeah, see, I agree
Yeah.
with that type of path, man. Like that's
Yeah.
that's pound for pound best fight in the world type
Right.
stuff. To be honest with you, but as far as what you said about Cool Boy, I thought what got him to fight was I think the judges respected his name early in the fight, and I think Joe Guzman made that same mistake. I thought the first 3 rounds were pretty competitive. And I thought you could have gave at least one of those rounds to Carlos Castro, but they kind of had Cool Boy up like 3 rounds to 0 kind of
Right.
4 rounds to 0, like at the beginning of the fight. And I just didn't see that fight. Like you said, the jab was working very, very well for Castro, but Fulton did outwork him, and he did land more power shots, and his shots were eye catching. Now he can't punch through a wet paper bag, but he was the one that was landing the hooks and the body shots, and really, really putting it on Castro on the inside. Castro's big punches, they look like they did way more damage, the ones that he did land when he let that right hand go and he dropped Cool Boy Steph. But I thought Cool Boy did outwork him, specifically the back half of the fight. I thought Cool Boy probably edged the beginning of the fight. You give Castro the middle of the fight with the knockdown too, and I think Cool Boy came on strong late to kind of bring it back a little bit. But I thought it was a close fight that could have went either way, so I'm not yelling robbery or anything like that. I do think though that Cool Boy, and you talked about Bozy, I just honestly think Cool Boy is not capable of what Bozy was asking him to do. I think we might have overrated Cool Boy a little bit. This was a guy that was seen, early 2023, late 2022. A lot of people seen him as a pound for pound level fighter, but as he stepped up to fight Monster in a way, as he's moved up in weight to fight this guy Carlos Castro, you can see a fighter that has trouble getting his head off the line. You can see a fighter that has trouble following those instructions to get his head off the line. And I don't think his reflexes are as fast as maybe we thought they were. He don't look as fast and as quick and as explosive as maybe he looked when he was fighting guys at 122 pounds. He's still smooth, right? He's still he's still got some really good boxing skills, but he does look like maybe he's not the athlete that we probably thought he was. And as a result, that's why Carlos Castro was able to catch him a lot in between some of those shots. Because honestly, you would think that the speed gap would have been a lot for those guys, but it wasn't really that much of a difference. The difference was Cool Boy stood 10 toes down and really fought hard when he needed to and got the victory. But I'm going to be honest with you, and I'm going to say that I have a hard time believing that Cool Boy is going to be champion at featherweight. Hell, I think if he fights Brandon Figueroa again at featherweight, I think Figgy might stop him. I think Figgy might stop him if they fight again. And I don't see him moving up to 130 or anything like that. He's going to be one of these guys, in my opinion, that's 5'7", 5'8", with a 70-inch arm reach that's not going to move up past a certain amount of weight because he's just not good. He can be world class at 126 and 122, but I don't think he can be world class much higher than that. So we'll see what happens with Cool Boy, but not impressed at all by the performance that he put on against Carlos Castro. You got anything else on that?
No, like I say, I get what you're saying, and but I don't know. I just think that I don't know what's the split decision or not. I didn't get a chance to rewatch it. But,
yeah, they called it a split decision. One judge scored it for Castro, and another judge scored it for Cool Boy. And the scorecards were close. Like one scorecard was 95-94 for Castro, one was 95-94 for Cool Boy, and then the other one was 96-93 for Cool Boy.
Okay, I'm okay with that. But I mean, I'm not hollering robbery or anything, but I really thought that Castro won that fight, with the jab alone, so I guess I was wrong, but still in all.
I mean, you saw what you saw, and there's an argument for it. It just depends on how you score it. You know what I mean? Because he did control the tempo of the fight a lot, but when Cool Boy was able to get inside on him, he landed the more eye-catching shots. So it's just, however you score it around. I think a split decision, they could go either way. I'm with it, and then we all know the PBC is back in Fulton. That's their guy. So,
right.
So it's gonna be if it's a close fight like that, he gonna get the nod because Castro is relatively unknown. So I ain't got no problem with it. I ain't got no problem with it at all, man. It don't hurt Castro. Like his stock is still up. He'll get another fight. They'll give him another shot on the card, and he can continue to try to build a name back up for himself. And Castro has a pretty good resume. He's lost all the fights, but he's been in the ring with Luis Nery. He's been in the ring with Brandon Figueroa, and now he's been in the ring with Cool Boy Steph. he fighting these guys, man. So you got to give Castro some credit for basically taking on the best 126 pounders and stuff that PBC has to offer, man. He's taking on everybody, bro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. But that's all I had on that knockout.
Okay. All right. Well, let's move on to the main card. We got
Let me tell everybody, please hit the like button, everybody. All right. Yes, sir. Show your love and hit the like button. I appreciate it, and support Knockout Boxing 86 TV and KQKC. We got the cash app right on the on both our names, and that way you can support both of our channels at the same time. All right, so go right ahead, Knockout.
Yes, sir. So getting to the main card, Rolando Romero got back in the win column. Mm-hmm. What did you think of Rolly's performance, man? He said he back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he bad. Look, I'm gonna tell you, listen, Rolly Romero got to be the worst damn fighter I've seen in a long time. But it's a but in this one. I'm kind of like, I like what he did last night. I really did. I like what he did. He took advantage of his opponent mistakes, and by him leaving Bullet, wow, man, there, and he got with Solace. I think he's showing him a little things slowly but surely, because Rolly had the right ideas. It's just that he just can't throw a jab straight. I mean, he just can't, but still he took advantage of it. He jocked for position. He was placing his hands in a good spot where he couldn't get countered. I mean, he did a great job last night. And I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, I hate to say it, but he did. And and I'm like, I'm kind of happy for him in a way. I mean, he's still a trash fighter, in my opinion. I mean, I'm sorry, but I got to be honest, though, right? But the level of opponent that he was fighting, he capitalized on.
You talked about all them improvements just to call him trash at the end, man. You wrong for that.
I mean, yeah, now you put him in front of someone that can box and can punch, and I mean, but like I say, he did a good job on what he had to work with. I mean, think about it. Tank knocked him out. Think about it. Pitbull knocked him out. I mean, coming off of 2 knockouts and everything,
Don't forget about him. Don't forget about him getting stopped in sparring by Kevin Johnson too.
Oh yeah, that too. And then you're walking in the ring walk. You're looking like where am I? And I'm just saying, he did a great job and what everything that was against him. And I'm glad he got the win, man. I really am. Because I don't know how he worked in sparring or whatever, but it seemed like he really wanted that win last night. So but it is what it is, y'all. I mean, Rolly ain't the perfect fighter, nowhere near the perfect fighter, but he did a great job. He did a great job. He tied him up so he couldn't hit with the free hand, and then he was wrestling with him and getting the best of him, as far as blocking his shots, and he's holding the foam. And I mean, he was doing, he was mimicking a lot of other fighters, but he did a great job, so, but he's still a trash fighter.
Yeah.
That's all I got, man.
I was surprised that he was able to be as sufficient as he was, but he still, you can still just see the wide stance, the trash jab, the defense and the footwork. When the dude did try to jump in on him, you can see Rolly just look all discombobulated and shit. He got no hope, man. He got no hope. We'll give him this one against Manuel James and Manuel Jaime, however you say his name, but he got no hope, bro. They just keep doing. They basically doing. Is Rolly still signed to Mayweather?
Yeah, he's still signed to Mayweather Promotions.
I think they just doing Floyd a favor to just keep putting Rolly on these damn cards, man. Yeah. I really do, bro. I think that Rolly is about one fight away from fighting the wrong guy and getting stopped again. Like 140 pounds is just too good It's just too good. Rolly is about to get beat up by somebody. I don't know who, but we got to wait to see who his next fight is. But I will give him the fact that he put on a good performance and he won the fight. But I still see all the same holes. Silas did the best he could with him. But if you ain't got it, man, you just ain't got it. You know what I mean? You could have the best basketball coach in the world. But if you just can't shoot and you just can't jump over a paper bag, you just not good, bro.
Right.
You just like it's nothing the coach can do with you. It's
Yeah.
the same thing in boxing. Like Silas is a damn good coach.
Yeah,
But when you got the talent level of Rolly Romero, hey man, ain't nothing you can do. Ain't nothing you can do. So we'll see what's next for Rolly, but I imagine if Pitbull loses to Rayo again, or if Rayo loses to Pitbull in a rematch, I can see Rolly fighting one of them and getting whooped on again. So that's kind of what I see probably next for him in 2025. But that's all I really got on it, man. You got anything else on Rolly?
No, that's all I got on Rolly. I just wish him luck, man, and that's about it.
Yeah, we got to get to the most impressive performance of the night, though. Caleb Plant, bro. Caleb Plant went full David Benavidez bully mode. I ain't never seen Caleb Plant do somebody like that. Walking down, putting their back against the ropes, beating them up. Caleb Plant all of a sudden got a gas tank now. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it's that snack. I don't know if I don't know if he was on that snack, but he fixed his gas tank. The goddamn everything was working and flowing. He didn't look tired in the fight, and he beat Trevor McCumby ass down. He made America great again. Damn it! What did you think? What did you think of Caleb Plant's performance, man?
Man, I was looking. I had to make sure I'm calling the right fight, right? I was like, it's still Caleb Plant, right? You know, and of course, McCumby, strong, big, durable. And I'm like, man, okay, Plant, you know, he can box, no doubt about that. But we know what we saw in the Canelo fight. We know what we saw in the Benavidez fight. But last night, Caleb Plant showed that he got a ring IQ. He had McCumby against the ropes, and he fought well off the ropes. Now he did get hit. He did get hit with a big right hand, and that comes from McCumby jumping in and bull rushing. Okay, and he got knocked on his keister. All right, now, of course, once again, don't know why McCumby went against the ropes, but normally when they do that, that's because they can't see the punches where they're coming from because the fast hands, and Plant has fast hands. But he had strength in them hands last night. He had him against the ropes, McCumby, and he was putting the head right there. Then he was moving the head. Then whop, 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 whop. Then he went from the body. Then he went up for the uppercut. Then he went down to the right level, baby. Then once again, he did it again. But he stepped up the speed. Then he did it again. He stepped up the speed, baby. All right. Then McCumby, he's trying to fight back. He's trying to get off the road. Caleb Plant, he used that body, baby. Got that forearm. Get back over there, right? Wow. And then he came back again. And once again, here come that IQ. Man, going up and down, bam, 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 bam. Right. You know, then he hold his hand up to his wife. Man, she like, there you go, baby. That's it, baby. That's it, baby. Right. And he was, man, bam, 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 man. I mean, Caleb Plant, man, he showed up and showed out last night. And man, I enjoyed that fight. You can tell I still enjoyed it. I'm going back and watching it.
I think you just accidentally started calling it, mother.
Man.
I think you just started calling in the middle of the show. I'm like, is he watching the fight right now?
Man, I'm telling you, man, Plant, man, he really impressed me last night. And I think the bread man, I think he was impressed too. You know, he was like, man, yeah. You know, I mean, Plant, you know, and I'm talking about this is a guy that came off with 2. And you know what? And another thing, he's battle tested. So McCumby, you know, I knew that he wasn't going to be out for the count. He got right back up, got right back in there, and he pretty much had the crowd going wild. I mean, that rope action, that was a ring IQ right there. because he knew how to move. He knew how to move and put his head in the chest, and he started working. Then he came off of it. Bam, uppercut, body shot, straight right. Man, another uppercut, left, right, liver. Man, oh man. It was fun, man. I mean, that fight was on fire. In my chat, they loved it. Man. Nothing but fire in there. Nothing but fire.
Yeah.
So that's all I got on it, man.
Caleb Plant, McCumby was strong. McCumby put him down.
Yeah.
But Caleb Plant, the way he got up, he started the fight off fighting normal, how y'all always fight, on the back foot, looking for counter shots, boxing and stuff. And then I guess when McCumby put him down, I don't know if it ticked him off or McCumby said something, but from that moment on, Caleb Plant did his best impersonation of David Benavidez. He walked McCumby down, pushed him against the ropes. And when he pushed him against the ropes, he did a very subtle thing of pinning his arms and what they call pinning in boxing and making sure McCumby couldn't punch. He would pin his arms and then make sure he could get his left hook off, his left uppercut off, and just really did a lot of really good things on the inside that, quite honestly, I haven't seen Caleb Plant do. So I was very, very impressed with that. I know a lot of people are saying the level of opponent wasn't high, and I agree with that. However, Caleb Plant showed some dog. He showed that there's a certain level of guy that's just not going to be able to beat him. And when your only losses is David Benavidez and Canelo Alvarez, somebody else at 168 pounds is going to have to show me they can beat him before I just picked them to beat Caleb Plant, because that guy is tough. Now, if I'm McCumby, we'd have to fight again as soon as the fight was over. Like, as soon as the fight was over, we'd have had to start fighting again, because Caleb Plant walked up on him and you just beat my ass. You just knocked me out. And then you walk up on me, and then you talking about some next time be respectful. I'd have had to swing on you right there. You'd have to beat my ass again, bro. You don't get to beat my ass, then tell me to be respectful like you sonning me or something, bro. like Caleb Plant did McCumby dirty, and McCumby just shaking his head like, yeah, I know. Like, hell nah, bro. You can't let that man do you like that, bro. He's sonning you right in front of the whole world. So I thought that shit was funny. But he called out Edgar Berlanga. He said he want Jamal Charlo. And he said he want Canelo. I think Berlanga and Caleb Plant, after what Berlanga did, I'd be all for Caleb Plant and Edgar Berlanga. I think that fight is a really, really good fight. But that's really all I got on it, man. I was impressed with how Caleb Plant fought and the adjustment that he made. And I always like seeing a fighter that you think can only fight one way, or that you expect to only do one thing. I like to see him get into his bag a little bit and show some different shit, and that's what Caleb Plant was able to do. So I was very impressed with what he did, man. That's really all I got on it.
Boy, that fight was fire, man. Man, oh man. I mean, I was very impressed with Caleb Plant and the fight itself, actually. I mean, the whole card was okay, but that fight there, it kind of like, man, just made the mood just go up a notch. It was just great. It was great. It was a great fight. Great fight.
It was. Johnny Allison, you late. We already talked about Cool Boy stuff. Yeah. We talked about the prelims earlier in the show. You had to go back and watch it. We talked about it though. All right, OG. So before we get to the last two fights, as a matter of fact, now let's go ahead and get to Lara and Danny Garcia and how Danny Garcia quit in the goddamn fight. That we went from Caleb Plant and McCumby, an excellent fight, a great fight, to a snooze fest, and then the knockout was as anticlimactic, or the stoppage was as anticlimactic as the whole damn fight. What did you think of Lara versus Garcia, man?
Well, in my word, my man Teach, all right? And Teach knew I didn't like that fight. No, he said, man, KQ is not enjoying this fight at all, right? Because both guys, they wasn't really doing anything. They both were going through the motions. But Lara, he's older now. He's 41. No more lateral movement, anything like that. No more that type of Lara that fought Canelo. He's just going to sit there and try to pop shot you. And that's what he did last night. He pop shot Garcia. He stood his ground, but he's kept pop shotting him. He kept pop shotting him. But one thing about it, then he caught Garcia. Now, The thing about this is, he didn't hit him hard. He didn't hit him with a nice straight left down the pipe and put some stank on it. No, Danny went down. He got hit. He went down, and before he even hit the canvas, he's shaking his head like, "Man, look, I don't feel like doing this."
Hey, Danny Garcia stole. Danny Garcia should be charged with theft of he stole money from Al Heyman last night, bro.
That's what I said. I told
he stole money. He stole money from Al Heyman last night, though.
Yeah, and that's what I told the chat. I said, "Wait a minute, hold on." I said, "Man, look, come on, people paying $90, right? And you gonna do this, Danny? Man, come on, dude, right?" So he like, that mental illness kicked in and stuff like that. And what makes it so bad? Angel, his daddy, that we used to with the loud mouth, right? Ponytail, 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 right? Well, last night he knows his son. He knows his son, like my father know me. And so therefore, man, Angel said, "Look," he told the referee, "No, he ain't got it. He don't have it." And Daddy was cool with that, right?
He ain't get mad. He ain't try to get over. He wasn't hurt, bro.
No, he wasn't hurt, and he wasn't gonna go down. Then he changed his mind and said, "No, I'm taking a knee. I'm through." And that was it. I'm like, oh my God, Danny, he could have finished it all, but you have to think about it. You have to look to what is worth, because Danny's footwork wasn't there. He wasn't landing any shots. Of course, he was throwaway jabs. I thought he was trying to measure, but he just was doing something.
Laura's reach was way too much, and Lara too good of a boxer. I told people in the breakdown, I said, Lara gonna watch Danny. and they didn't believe me, a lot of people. I'm like, bro, he gonna watch him. It's a bad matchup. Danny is a goddamn counter puncher who don't like to go first, who don't let his hands go, and he's in there with a counter puncher too. They got a higher ring IQ than him, and that got a way longer reach. Shit, like, let's just be real. Lara always been a better fighter than Danny. Lara went in there with Canelo and had Canelo in there looking bad. A lot of people felt like Lara won that fight. Danny ain't never fought to that level, man.
And
it showed it, and you could tell he was demoralized because Lara was basically beating him with one hand. Lara beat him with a jab all night.
There you go.
The whole damn night, bro.
Yes, there you go. Because that jab, all he did was stood right in front of him and pop him with the stick right on the forehead. Bam, bam, bam. And we are talking about, this is the same Danny Garcia that fought Matisse. There was a champion at 140. He was a dog at 140. He was a champion. This is the same Danny Garcia, but he took a lot of blows. He went in a lot of rough fights. Zab Judah, he had him knocked down, cut. But that Danny's gone. Sometimes, and this is why I tell everybody, boxing's only give you a short window. Now, everybody can't be Big George. You ain't gonna fight till you're 45. You ain't gonna fight till you're 46. So I don't care if you don't drink or smoke or none of that. Sometimes your body tell you, but with Danny Garcia, his mental illness and everything else rolled up in one, said, "Hey, look, I'm finished." You won't never see Danny Garcia in that ring again.
Bro, he's fought, and this is part of people's complaint about Premier Boxing Champions, but I don't know if it's Premier Boxing Champions or these fighters, but Danny Garcia fought one time in 4 years, man. He's only had one fight in 4 years, and you could see it. He just, that hunger gone, man. That hunger, that desire, the same Danny that got cracked by Keith Thurman and wouldn't go down, the one that went to war with Sean Porter, the one that sit there and took a whooping from Earl Spence and kept trying, that guy's gone. That guy ain't here no more. Yeah, that guy's out of here, bro. So he might as well hang that shit up, man.
Yeah, most definitely. Yes, sir. Make sure y'all hit the like button. And we got Young World in a super chat. He said, Garcon. Salute KQ and KO. Y'all cooking this morning. Salute to the chat. a wow.
Yeah, that
All
shit
right.
crazy.
Yes, sir.
Salute, young world. Salute. All right, so Teofimo Lopez makes the news again, KQ. Teofimo Lopez said, and I quote, "Tank, give me a fight, bro. I want to fight, Tank. Give me a fight." So Teo is talking about Tank Davis now. What do you think of that call out, man? What do you think of the timing of the call out? Just Teofimo Lopez making himself, first of all, coming to these PVC events, but training with Canelo, getting into it with Crawford, calling out Tank Davis for a fight. And here's his quote. Let me read. He says, "Hey Tank, give me a fight, brother. He ain't fighting. I ain't fighting. What's up? I don't like people saying I'm ducking somebody. Why do I beat him? Because I'm the takeover. That's why." What do you think of Teofimo, man?
I think if you look at everything and roll it up, he's cloud chasing. No one didn't say nothing about you ducking Tank. Matter of fact, nobody ain't said your damn name. And Tank, if you say he's not fighting, but I'm quite sure they ain't got an idea who he's gonna fight. I'm quite sure we just don't know it. You don't know it, but trust me, you are the last one on his list, if he ever had you on his list, that he's gonna fight. And right now, you're not in that league right now. Now I know a lot of people like T.O. and yes, he's a good showman. He's a good BS. He's a bullshitter. That's what he is. And one thing about it is he's just trying to cloud chase because Bob Arum's not giving him nothing. He think he deserved all this type of money because he believed that he did all this in boxing, but he didn't. He ain't done nothing really. I mean, yes, he did beat Lomachenko. All right, well, how many times you gonna live off that fight? I mean, he keeps bringing that up. Well, when I fought Lomachenko, well, see, I beat Lomachenko when he was young and look, ain't nobody want to hear that shit, dude. Make your, like I said earlier, make your own bones. I hate this. And listen, Tank, Canelo, yes, argumentally, it depends on what's your definition of facing boxing. But listen, look at that crowd last night. They weren't there for Berlanga. They was there for Canelo Alvarez. And the same thing with Gervonta Davis. They worked to get where they at. They worked to get up there and bring in a crowd like that. Now, can you do that, Tio? No, you can't. So that's why you're trying to latch on, hold on to somebody's belt like they do in the penitentiary, right? Because you want to be his boy, right? That's what you want to do. You want to be his boy. So please, let go his belt and make your own lane. Because, see, this is what I'm saying. And this is what Turkey always mess up at, right? It's not fair that guys that come in, ain't making the money, can't sell, can't do shit, but Turkey there to get in the money and say, hey, don't worry about it. Here, I got something. No, you want to make your own bones. You want to make your own money. You want to get up to that plateau. They didn't start off making all that money. They worked themselves up to that tier. That's what they did. They worked themselves up. And now, look at that crowd last night. That crowd, I mean, everybody in the chat was saying how big. What was the final count? 20,000.
Yeah, they was deep. They was deep in there.
Yes. We are talking about the T-Mobile Arena. Now, they like Canelo. Now, if you like him or loathe him, Canelo's a bad boy. All right? He is. No doubt about it. Now, what's up? Drink more water. But still and all, but till he had to make his own lane. I know Punch drunk, you trying to push him up and this and that. But he's just not that guy right now. He's irrelevant. You got to sell yourself. And then people will know you and notice you. Look at Rolly. Now, Rolly's a trash fighter, but he is sellable. He will sell a press conference. He will sell a fight. He will open his mouth. Now, it might be some dumb shit, but he will open his mouth. Look at Ryan. Ryan, he's sellable. Ryan, he'll pack it in there. Now, Ryan, he crazy as hell, but hell, they like it. Some people like it, some people don't. But you got to sell yourself. But you can't sit there and hold on to Tank, right? First, now Crawford, now Tank. You can't do that. You got to make your own bones and stop holding on to everybody. So, well, that's all I got on that one.
Yeah. So here's the thing, right? It's very frustrating. So number one, I ain't got no problem with the call out because I want to see the fight. No problem with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was very respectful. Now, that's the issue I have. And it's because it's respectful, and hopefully, you can hope that he's being respectful because he's in talks with Tank and stuff then got real for him, so he's not being as disrespectful as he used to be. But if he's being so respectful now, and it's not because he's fighting Tank or his team is negotiating with Tank, then I got a problem with that because Teofimo Lopez has spent a lot of time disrespecting the hell out of Gervonta Tank Davis when neither he or Gervonta Davis weren't available to fight. So when Tank was fighting Frank Martin, or when everyone thought Tank was fighting Lomachenko before Lomachenko publicly ducked him, Teofimo was calling Tank all kind of names and saying he would never fight him and just very, very disrespectful. But now when Tank is available, now you're very respectful all of a sudden. I don't like that, bro. I don't like when fighters change their energy up or start being different. It's kind of like that Shakur Stevenson thing, right? Like Shakur Stevenson says Tank is ducking him. Tank will never fight him. Stop ducking me. You're beefing with Floyd Mayweather. Then Tank becomes available and, neither one of us is ducking each other. I know we going to fight. The fight is going to happen. Like, these dudes, man, they always seem to switch up, bro. They always seem to switch up when this man is available to fight. And I would like for somebody that's a fan of these guys to tell me why. Why is Teofimo so respectful all of a sudden? So I didn't like that part of it just because I think it shows that you never believe any of the shit that you've been saying all these years, right? Because if you believed it, you would act the same, you would be the same every single time. Every time that you call them out, if you really ain't got no respect for somebody, you ain't gonna respect them sometimes, then not respect them sometimes. Why is he your brother all of a sudden?
You know why?
Yeah, why is he your brother all of a sudden? Because you scared you might actually get that call? Because you know that it's a possibility now. So now you want to be respectful? No. Keep that same energy, bro. So that's my biggest issue with it. And then it seems like you said at the beginning when you first started talking, seems like a lot of clout chasing. Like, because the timing is so convenient, right? Now that they start reporting Tank Davis is either back November 23rd or December 14th, we all know how this boxing shit works. They talking about a date because they know they already have an opponent. Now, maybe T.O. is the opponent, but if he's not the opponent, then he's clout chasing, because anyone and everyone in boxing knows that once you have the date, you either got an opponent already or you got your shit down to 2 people, or you just waiting on your shit to you waiting on the final details to be done. But you got an opponent in mind already when you got a venue, when you got a fight date, and they already giving you the dates. Why did he wait until the week that they announced that Tank Davis is coming back on the 23rd or the 14th? Now he's like, oh, yeah, shit, pick me. Come on, brother. Give me the fight on December 14th. It just seemed like it's clout chasing, and the timing is all fucking wrong, bro. So it is what it is, man. I hope we get that fight. The only reason I don't have a huge problem with the call out is because I want to see the fight. For me, it's just the way he called him out, the change in energy, and how respectful he is all of a sudden towards Gervonta Tank Davis. And all of these guys, man, I don't just say it as a Tank fan. All your favorite fighters, you guys in the chat that like Teofimo or you like Shakur Stevenson, all your guys that get real respectful all of a sudden, bro. Every single time. It never fails. When Tank is available, they either don't say shit. They don't say shit. T.O. ain't said shit for a month and a half since Loma pulled out. Now he's saying something. They get real respectful or real quiet, and I just want to know why. Why they get so respectful and so quiet when the man ain't got a fight lined up? Y'all let me know. But that's all I got on it, man.
Okay. Yeah, just like Berlanga. Berlanga was the same way with Canelo. He was going in on Canelo. He called him all kind of names. The next thing you know, yeah, man, Canelo's a legend, and I get a shit in the ring with a legend, and gave him all kind of credit. No, Canelo, no, he pick and choose. He's a cherry pick. No, and I'm gonna show him he picked the wrong one. That's what I want to hear. Let me hear that. Let me hear that. Don't change now because you got to fight. You don't want to piss them off too much. You know, I mean, whatever it is. It might not be that, but I'm just saying. All right, keep the same energy you started off with until your hand get raised. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. You know,
it makes us know that you were serious.
right?
It makes us know that you weren't just trying to sell us some bullshit, and that's what boxers do a lot to boxing fans, right? Like you, all these guys for so many years have made us think that they ain't got no respect for Tank or for Canelo, right? But then when it's time to step in that fire, they show them all the respect in the world. They all of a sudden, that when it's really time to show that you mean it, like when you're not tied up in a deal, when they ain't got no fight, when a fight can really be made, everybody seems to get real respect when they seem to remember how good of a fighter Tank Davis is, or they remember how good of a fighter Canelo Alvarez is. Every single time, it never fails, bro. It never fails. They call him everything but a child of God when they own something else or they fighting somebody else. But the moment that they know that they could be in the crosshairs or they could be the next one, they all of a sudden get real respectful, man. Every goddamn time. It's funny to see. It's funny to see, and it's even funnier to watch the fan bases of these fighters act like what I'm saying isn't true. act like what I'm saying isn't true when you know that it is. But that's all I got on it, man. You got anything else on it before we move on?
Yeah. No. Yoda. No. Come on now. You really think Gervonta Davis gonna fight Joe Cardina? No.
Nah, he wouldn't do nothing like that.
Yeah. You know. So, but I'm say this. All right. I don't know what you about to move on to, but Shakur Stevenson. Was you gonna get to that?
No, you can go ahead. I was going to
now
talk about Shakur.
Okay. Now, real fast. You know, I don't mean to interrupt the show, but listen, I'm tired of this lying and shit. Okay. Now, call me wrong. I might be wrong. All right, but I just ain't buying it. I'm sorry. I'm just not buying it. You know, first of all, of course, you hurt your hand. Okay. All right, fine. Okay, we get it. Now, don't think Turkey and Eddie don't look at social media. Don't think they ain't looking at my show, Knockout Show, everybody else show. Everybody saying that fight was trash, right? No matter what, it's trash. Now, if you want to say business like whatever it is, it's trash. And then you're going to put him on pay-per-view, knowing he can't sell, right? But now, all of a sudden, he fall down, right? Now, he didn't throw a hard body shot. It was a hesitation body shot and a hesitation fall down. Now, why did that tape come out? I tell you why. Because they didn't believe it. They were trying to get out of it. That's what they were trying to do. Because they see that the fans weren't buying it. They see that the fans were saying, man, I ain't buying that. I don't care if it's $4, I ain't buying it. Right? So they came to their senses. Because Turkey don't know nothing but soccer. That's all he knows. You know, I did my research. He don't do nothing but soccer. And he'll take that money and leave on soccer like he did once before. All right? It's documented. Now, of course, all of a sudden, now he's in the hospital, right, with his hand all wrapped up. But listen, all this is in 24 goddamn hours, right? Now, you're going to the gym? You're going to the gym and holding on to the rope with both hands? Come on. Now,
I didn't see this. What are you talking about? Hold on. Hold on a second. He did what, bro?
Man, he was in the gym, man. Right after the big surgery, right? And you in the gym, but you claim you come in to see your cousin, Spark, because he had a fight coming up, right? Something Moses, whatever the name is. Okay. But you hold on to the ropes like this, you know.
He ain't had no cast on.
No, he didn't have no cast on. He had
Where'd
an
you
ace
see
bandage
this?
on.
Where'd you see this video?
Shit. He had an ace bandage on. I sent on Boston Eagle. Man,
bro, I'm finna go over there right now. Keep cooking.
Man, so I mean, come on. I mean, really? I mean, I'm just not buying it, y'all. Now, y'all can say, man, KQ, man, you conspiracy theorist, right? Okay, maybe I am, but I'm just not buying it. I think that Turkey and Eddie knew that they effed up. I think they knew they made a wrong mistake. And I'm gonna tell you right now that Jerron Ennis, he don't want to be there. Now Eddie says it's not true, but I believe he want to get out of his contract. I believe it. He ain't made no champion out of him. He said he did, but he hasn't. So I mean, come on. What we doing here? Listen, don't try to fake it till you make it. That don't work. Bro. Don't try to use the Al Heyman model and y'all muck it up. The Zone tried that, and what happened? They still doing pay-per-views. What happened? They running out of money, but Al Heyman's still going strong. And I don't care about no promotional companies. I don't have no dog in this fight. But I'm just saying, all right, don't try to blow air up our asses, all right? Because this don't sound right to me. I'm sorry, all right? This just don't sound right. Now, all of this, and within 24 hours, you come out with the news, you come out with the surgery. You had surgery and hurt your hand all in the same day. Come on. Well, I'm just, hey, I might be wrong, but I'm just not buying it. I'm sorry.
So you don't think he really hurt?
No, I don't. Then off of that, no, hold on. After that, they come about he probably fights Zepeda when he come back. You coming off a bad hand, you gonna go in there and fight Zepeda?
Oh. Hey, he say he a dog. Shit.
Okay. All right.
No, I did not see it. I did not see the video.
You didn't see it? Okay, I'm sure. I'll find it.
Yeah, I did not see the video you talking about. But what I will say is, bro, if you were hurt, you shouldn't let nobody record you holding on to a rope using your hand gripping the ropes and shit. If you supposed to,
he was on the outside of the rope, outside the canvas, but he was
holding on to the ropes and shit.
Right. Yeah.
And he ain't had no wrap on his hand, no cast on his hand, nothing.
Yeah, he had an East Spanish on it. Yeah, I'm like, I ain't buying it, man. I'm sorry, I'm not.
Yeah, I do agree that the timing is very, very odd. Like, we know your shit wasn't selling. We know it was gonna flop. We know that the reception of the fans wasn't what Turkey and Eddie Hearn had hoped for, and it all, the timing all seems fishy and all seems off. So I'm 100% there with you, and that's why I hate that boxers who are legitimately injured, if Shakur is legitimately injured, have to go through stuff like this. But this is why boxing needs to be cleaned up. This is why it needs to be revamped to where you can have some sort of protocol in place to where fans can trust that when you say a fighter is injured, a fighter is truly injured. Like, people need to be able to trust that. People need to be able to know that. So I'm with you 100% on the fact that it does look fishy, but I'm not gonna quite put that on Shakur that he would fake an injury or anything like that.
But I'm not, like I said, I'm not saying if he hurt, I feel, hey,
yeah, you feel, yeah, I know what you're saying, and it does. I mean, it makes sense, bro. Like, how do you do that? You get out the fight so that you don't have to do something that's bad for your market value. You keep training behind closed doors, and then you go right into the Zepeda fight. And the fact that they're willing to go right into the Zepeda fight kind of leads credence to what you're saying, because, as you said, going straight to Zepeda off of a bad hand injury where you had to have surgery, that's not somebody you fight when you don't know whether or not your hand is going to give out or whether or not you're going to trust your hand like that again. But to your point, you would fight him if you knew you wasn't really hurt and you really just training and you really just didn't want to have that Cordina fight and you healthy and you just going to have a long camp for Zepeda. You would do something like that if that was the case. So what you're saying makes sense, man. Can't nobody knock you for feeling how you feel. I just hope that that's not the case, because that would be some low down, grimy, dirty shit. But we are talking about a fighter that that wiretaps people and records them without their knowledge. And basically, I mean, I'm just saying, bro. Like, when you do shit like that, we can't push shit past you, bro. Like, this is the same guy. So
You should wiretap.
yeah, he wiretap Bill Haney, man. I don't even like Bill Haney, but he wiretap, made him thought it was a safe conversation and started acting like a snitch, and then told him he was gonna do it too. Don't say that, OG. I got you talking crazy. Don't say that. I got you talking. He had the tape and kept that shit and
He had it for
waited.
like a year, right?
Yeah, he kept that shit and waited. So you can't put nothing past him, bro. You can't put nothing past him. So I believe that alone. That's all I got on that, man.
Yeah, that's all I have. Like I say, you know, that's just the way I feel. You know, maybe I'm wrong. I'm just saying, you know, and I don't want to see nobody hurt at all. You know, and if he is hurt, you know, hopefully he can get well soon. You know.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. All right, last fight, man. Canelo.
Yes, sir.
Canelo. What'd you think of the fight with Berlanga?
Man, I think Berlanga did a great job last night. Will he be the next face of boxing? No. But he did go in there and he did better than Jamel on Charlo. But you got to understand, Jamel is coming up 2 weight classes. But of course, Malanga, he's right there at 168. Now I heard he had a hard time making weight, but he made it. Now, but still in all, he was throwing punches and it wasn't hurting Canelo at all. Canelo still was walking to him with the high guard, step by step, inch by inch. When I say inch by inch, he was inching up, slowly but surely. The smaller guy was bagging up the bigger guy, and Berlanga was going right into the ropes. That's what Canelo wanted. And then next thing you know, Canelo firing off upstairs and downstairs. And then he working a jab. And I kept asking everyone in the chat, how can a guy that small with short arms sitting there firing up a jab and touching him right on the forehead? How can you allow that to happen without knocking it down? You know, I just didn't see that. I don't understand that. Now, Berlanga said he practiced holding the phone and training. But what happened? He dropped that holding that phone, and guess what? He got hit with a check left hook. That's what happened. He got hit with that check left hook. You know, so and he went down. Then at least he got back up and he made a fight out of it. Now I think he did pretty good. We all underestimated him. No, he didn't win, but he didn't get knocked out either. But he did get knocked down. But this is what happens. Floyd gave Canelo a lesson in 2015, and Canelo just gave Edgar Berlanga a lesson in 2024. And that's what happens when you're that good and you fought so many fights in your career. But Canelo, he picked Berlanga for a reason, because he knew he can beat him. He knew that his punches was there, but it didn't hurt. Canelo still was walking to him. Now, this is what I noticed that I think Canelo noticed too, that he's a hothead. He's a hothead. And you can get him off his square just like that. And you saw that last night. They almost got into it at least 2 or 3 times. And of course, he's talking smack, and for some reason, he want to be this gangster or something, you know. But still in all, Canelo still walked him down, and boom, you know, went down to the body, downstairs to the liver. I mean, upstairs with the jab, then overhand right, and he was clocking him too in the round. I think the 10th round, he was hitting him with overhand rights. Berlanga's problem is he lingers too much on the ropes. He lingers right in the back, going back into the turnbuckle. He make that his home. That's what Canelo wants you at. And then he can tee off on you. And then, of course, he pick up his feet, reset, and do it all over again. You know, so, but I would say he did better than I thought. But Canelo, you can see right now that Canelo, he can take a punch. Now, that man got a chin on him. Berlanga was hitting with some flush punches, but it just wasn't bothering him. He just kept coming and coming. But I think it's a good win for Canelo. But now we see he's going the distance a lot more than knockouts. And that shows you because of age. On the so many fights he got. You know, he got over 70-something fights. in his whole career, as all together. So, but still in all, I think maybe 3 more fights to go, and don't know how long that would be. But I think that was the end of his contract with PBC last night. And so, what he got in store for him next, I don't know. But that's all I got on that fight knockout, because Berlanga, he did a great job, but it just wasn't good enough. And
Yeah, I thought Berlanga.
one more thing.
Go ahead. Yeah.
No,
Do you think?
listen, fighters, start wearing them goddamn house slippers and fight. Okay,
That's the
First,
style, KQ. That's the style, KQ.
man. But he bust his ass out there. Ain't nobody touch him. He spilled out, And then Devin Haney, he got on Uggs house shoes. I mean, put on some boxing shoes, and you want to put a little flash on, go right ahead. He had on Chuck Taylors. All right, okay, it looked good, but are they made for boxing, or they made for style? I mean,
Yeah.
but still, stop wearing that shit, because, next time you might get hit and pretty much can't control yourself, but with them shoes on, you're going to fall. But that's all I'm saying. All right. That's all I got.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
for me,
shoes.
Bro, I thought Canelo did well in the fight. What I liked about Canelo was he looks like in the last 2 fights against Jaime Munguia and against Edgar Berlanga, those gas tank issues that he looked like he was having, where he was sucking wind and tired by the back half of the fight, looked like he fixed that. Whatever he's been able to do, him and his team were blaming it on a knee injury. And they said these last 2 or 3 camps, they've been able to finally do their cardio and run and stuff now. And if you watch the Glove Office episodes, you see Canelo running and really putting in road work and stuff like that. And you can tell that something's changed to where his gas tank is better now. He punched in combinations better in this fight. And he was just a fun fighter to watch with the way he was placing his punch and the speed, the combinations, the traps he was setting for Berlanga to counter him. I thought Canelo performed very well, but that's as expected because Canelo is a hell of a fighter and a very talented fighter for sure. Berlanga is the one that surprised me, kind of like what you were saying. The way that he was able to fight off the ropes, even though he kept getting trapped on the ropes, the way he was able to try to fight in the pocket with Canelo and try his best to give back what he was receiving from Canelo. He just wasn't on Canelo's level. I got mad respect for that because Berlanga is a fighter that I thought was overhyped, and I still think he was overhyped with all the first round knockouts and supposed to have this destructive power. But what I thought was undersold was that boy got heart, man. That boy got heart, and he showed it, and he fought. And I know this is the truth, so I'm gonna say it. I know you're not gonna like it. He definitely fought Canelo with more hype, with more heart than what Jermell Charlo fought him with. He put on a better performance than Jermell did against Canelo, and Jermell is an undisputed champion. So Berlanga, I'm now guys that I used to think would just wash him, that I think would beat him on his level. I want to see Berlanga get in the ring with a Jaime Munguia. I want to see Berlanga get in the ring with a Diego Pacheco. I want to see these younger guys that are kind of in the same level that aren't at Canelo's generation. I want to see them all mix it up because Berlanga showed me that when the going get tough, he gonna stand on this square and he gonna get up and he gonna fight back. So I was very impressed with him, not from a skill set perspective, right? Obviously his defense is still not that good. Canelo being a veteran and being as skilled and talented as he was able to take advantage of a lot of things that Berlanga was doing. But Berlanga showed that he can take a big shot, and he showed that he ain't finna go nowhere. You're gonna have to make him go somewhere. So I think that's the type of fight that Berlanga could get better from, and the experience that he got in that fight. If he takes it the right way and he chooses to learn from it and he dedicates himself to his craft, Berlanga could be a problem for guys moving forward and be a dark horse in that division. So I thought Berlanga performed very, very well, man, and he performed well enough to where, like I said, and I'll land the plane. Guys like Caleb Plant, guys like Jaime Munguia, guys like Diego Pacheco that I thought would just wash him because I didn't have that level of respect for him, I don't know if I believe that no more. Those guys would have to show me that they could deal with Edgar Berlanga. He performed that well against Canelo Alvarez. I mean, Caleb Plant fought Canelo. He didn't do as well. Jaime Munguia fought Canelo. I thought Berlanga was way more competitive than Jaime. So I want to see all these fights now, man, and see how that shit goes. So salute to Berlanga, man, giving me a pretty good fight. He put up the best fight he could. So we'll see how it go, man.
Yeah. He developed well, and he did better than I thought he would do. And shout out to him for that. You know, they worked on a lot of things, but like I say, Canelo been fighting for years, man, for years. I mean, he's seen every style, you know. So and you know, and shout out to Canelo too. You know, so it was a good fight, you know. But I'll tell you one thing: don't put Estrelana Lara on a co-main event. All right, if you want to fire up the crowd and get ready for the main event,
yeah, bro, make him start put his ass on the prelims. No disrespect. Exactly. He the oldest world champion we got in boxing, so I respect that shit. But put him at the beginning. Like you could have put his ass on the prelims and put Cool Boy and Castro on the main card, bro.
Right. That's what I'm saying. You know, that wasn't good for a co-main event. That wasn't good at all.
Nah, that card overall. Playing McCumby, the prelims were exciting. Playing McCumby was a good fight. Rolly and Lara, yeah, you know what I mean? Like them fight, yeah. And the Canelo fight was good, bro.
Right. Yeah. So man, but hey, I like it. I think the card was worth it, you know, to me. And they brought the crowd out. Now I don't know how the UFC did, you know, because Oscar had this comparison thing going or whatever. But it is what it is, you know.
And you know what? I take that back. I don't think it's Lara. I think you got to put Lara in there with somebody that's a pressure fighter that's gonna come out after him. That's gonna make him counter them. You put him in there with Danny Garcia, who's a counter puncher too. You got two counter punchers in there that's waiting on each other to let their hands go, and neither one of them are going to do it, so they were posturing a lot. I think it depends on the type of fighter that you put Lara in there with. So I won't put it all on Lara. I just think Danny Garcia, he was having trouble letting his hands go 4 years ago, and that was the biggest knock on him, and he just always looking for a counter punch. And so as a result, you put two counter punches in there, don't nobody want to take the lead. It turned into a jab fest. A jab fest that Lara won, but it wasn't an exciting fight at all. It was not fun to watch at all. So
yes, sir. Yeah. Then what we talked about Villa already. We talked about that, you know. But you always catch the replay. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Well, OG, that's all I got, man. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll be live tomorrow, Wednesday and Thursday at 7:30. Obviously, y'all catch KQ at 11 a.m. all throughout the week. And I appreciate you, man. Another one in the books.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, man. And I appreciate everybody last night. All right. We did about close to 8,000 views. So I thank everybody for coming out. I thank everybody for hitting the like button last night. Thank everybody for their support. I thank everybody for your support today. All right. So once again, we'll see you tomorrow, sir, in the morning and at night. All right. So with that, man, y'all know how we do it. We living it up. We out. Peace,
y'all.
This song is dedicated to all those ballers out there and all those hustlers and just people out there just getting their money on. You know what I'm saying? To all of you haters, just remember this. I'm living it up, y'all.